Hey guys, okay, so this question has actually been recently asked a few times, and basically people have been asking me for the currently released Pokemon, what exactly would my strategy be for, competitive play, and if I had any advice on it. So, today I'm actually doing videos of my pick for competitive Pokemon Sun and Moon, and as you can see, the first six are actually pretty decent. So, the first three are Rowlet, Vikavolt, Tapu Koko, Lunala, Pecky and the newly, as of last month, revealed Rockruff, aka Iwakano. So, basically, when it comes to, competitive play, I generally like to balance out my team when it comes to their typing and their effectiveness against other Pokemon on the opposite team. So, to just go off on the real note here, looking at it like this, Rockruff would probably be my main Pokemon, because for the simple fact that nearly every one of his teammates, except with the exception of Tapu Koko, is a flying type. Now, well, except Vikavolt and Tapu Koko, I'm sorry. Pikipay, Rowlet, and Lunala are all flying types. So, for example, say you are in a battle of 6-on-6. Rockruff is in the dead center, and you have two flying types on both ends. You can hit an Earthquake, no problem. Your Pokemon are not affected, and on top of that, it takes out whatever Pokemon is on the field besides yours. So, I take advantage of that, and given the fact Vikavolt has the ability to levitate, if I have that going on, I have no real problem to, really worry about me accidentally killing any of my other Pokemon, which is cool. Now, mainly this. Pecky is probably a flying type Pokemon that I'm really considering using and teaching it moves like I did with my Staraptor. I know some of you have seen the videos that I used my Staraptor in. Now, my Staraptor knows a lot of good flying type moves such as Brave Bird, Close Combat. I mean, not, you know what I mean, but in general. So I'm really hoping that if the evolution for Pecky is revealed anytime soon, I'm actually looking forward to teaching it better moves like that, like Aerial Ace, Hyper Beam, and if they do allow close combat, Anyway, next is Rowlet. Rowlet in general is probably the most easily understand Pokemon when it comes to competitive speaking, because this is the first this is the first dual starter we've had since Generation 1, which is Bulbasaur. Now, generally, what I would teach Rowlet, if given the opportunity, I would make sure it keeps its signature move, which is Leaf Age, and I would teach it a offensive and a defensive move to make sure that if there ever is a rock type on the field, or they try to hit me with the Rock Slide or Rock Tomb or some shit like that, I want to make sure that I give it a way to protect itself. I maybe teach it Protect, depending on what its evolution is later on the line. I want to make sure that I have, the proper protection. Next is Vikavolt. Now, Vikavolt is actually was probably my second favorite out of the newly revealed Pokemon yesterday. Now, the reason I say I would use Vikavolt competitively is because it's capable of managing against rock type moves. It can defeat flying types, and on top of that, it can hold its own against primarily any other type that's not its weakness. So, if there is an item that I can use, if I had to think about, I would probably use something to increase its. I would probably teach it something that could actually raise its electric type moves or boost its speed stats. That way I won't have to worry about it moving too slowly and moving ahead of that. So, moving on now. Last but not least, Tapu Koko is another Pokemon that was revealed in yesterday's trailer, both the day before in the Japanese trailer and yesterday in the Japanese trailer. So, generally, how I would do this is Tapu Koko is actually a very, very good partner if I do end up getting into a double battle. Now, hear me when I say this. with its ability Electric Surge, and having it team up with Vikavolt, who is a bug and electric type, its ability would be perfect. And on top of that, if I do come into a triple battle and use Rockruff, Vikavolt, and Tapu Koko against an opponent, I'm pretty sure I can probably knock out at least maybe 2, 3, or 4 of my opponent's Pokemon with no problem. So, given with Tapu Koko's electric surge ability, it boosts its power by 1, which means even if I am dealing with say for example, I'm dealing with a grass type when electric type moves are not good against grass types that well, that will tip the scale greatly, meaning that I won't have this problem at all. And on top of that, it boosts its own power too. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But anyway, now on to the last Pokemon, Lunala. Now, see, this is actually, for the last 2-3 generations, I think the first generation I used a legendary in was Pokemon, I think it was Pokemon Soul Silvers. Yeah, Pokemon Soul Silver, that I decided that I want to use legendary Pokemon. Because I used to be I didn't like using legendary Pokemon because they made you OP. There's no real reason to use legendary Pokemon knowing full well the outcome and shit like that. I just didn't feel like being an OP player. I just wanted to use an original team. A team that didn't require a legendary to win a match. But as time went on, I became kind of biased about it. So, anywho, Lunala is probably the one out of all 6 of my Pokemon for Pokemon Sun and Moon that actually requires a little more of, partial attention to, because for the simple fact that its ability Shadow Shield is actually, it takes less damage from an attack that lands when this Pokemon has full HP. So even if I do get attacked in mid-game, for example, say if I get hit with a fairy move, I probably take less damage, probably would take like a third of damage instead of half. And if people try to troll on one Pokemon, try to take one out Pokemon by using 3 against 1, that shit like that, but I would take less damage. And just like I said before, with 2 flying types, I'm sorry. And with a balanced team like this, I have a pretty good idea of how I'm going to go with my team competitively. And I know a lot of people right now, when this video is done, people are going to be thinking, dude, why are you talking about this? You're not giving that much advice. Technically I am, because you have to think about your Pokemon's abilities and their attacks before anything else. You're really worrying about the typing, the attacks, and their abilities are all what really count. It doesn't matter what Pokemon looks cool, what Pokemon looks the most badass, none of that. It's about the Pokemon itself being powerful enough to win a match. And considering the Pokemon hype has been real for the last almost 5-6 months, there's no real reason why we shouldn't, take into consideration what type of Pokemon we're going to use. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.